everyone, and welcome back to 27 Fox Place. I just have some light cleaning to do today, and I always like to start with the morning routine because it's much easier and faster to clean a tidy house, and if nothing else gets done, then at least the house gets tidy.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun.
The order of my morning routine really just depends on where I am when I decide to get started, but I try not to wait too long to get started because the longer I wait, the less motivated I am to get started. And making the bed is always at the top of my list because the sooner I can get it made, the longer it stays that way. And I like to pull back the covers when I get out of the bed in the morning so that the bed has a chance to air out before I make it.
With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it.
Every morning I trade one load of dirty laundry for one load of clean laundry, and I transfer a load of clothes over to the dryer, and then I load the washer with another load of laundry that won't wash until the next morning. And this morning I just have a load of towels to fold, and the dog's got a bath, so I had to run an extra load for the towels that we used.
Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
We use the white towels for the dogs, and I fold the towels to fit the space where I store them, and I roll the towels so that I can store them underneath the sink where we keep all of the dog supplies, and I can store more towels in less space if I roll them up, and because they stay together, it makes it easier to carry them around.
Brand new street and brand new me, side by friends I need. Don't you tell me that you're in town, I already know, couple days ago. Hey, now that our names are written in stone, let's be honest, sounds like home. Still I'm here alone and I'm calling your phone. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could dream about somebody else. I wish I could talk when the silence so loud. I wish, oh I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could do something that will make sense. I wish I would know what you're thinking about. I wish I could wipe my own memory out.
I always try to get the kitchen cleaned up after dinner, and the more I can get done the night before, the less I have to do in the morning. But I have my limits, so I usually unload the dishwasher the following morning, and if I can empty the dishwasher first thing in the morning, then the dishes don't have a chance to pile up in the sink, which helps to keep the kitchen tidy throughout the day. And I'm getting a late start in the kitchen because I didn't run the dishwasher this morning, so I had to wait for it to finish its cycle so that I could get everything put away.
Let's be honest, sounds like home. Still I'm here alone and I'm calling your phone. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could dream about somebody else. I wish I could talk when the silence so loud. I wish, oh I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I
If you're new here, my name is Randy, and I live in Southern California with my husband and our 2 fur babies, Ace and Callie, and I make videos for cleaning and organizing motivation, and I post new videos every Friday. So if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And I always love hearing from you in the comments, and I always try to read all of the comments, but I've fallen behind the past few weeks. We've been working on extra projects around the house, and it seems like every time I sit down to read comments, I get interrupted by something. So I wanted to take a minute and thank you for all your wonderful words, and they're always so thoughtful and so encouraging, and I always look forward to reading them.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights.
I have a reusable oil mister that I like to use in the kitchen, and I need to wash it out before I can refill it, and it's been soaking in the sink with warm soapy water, and I just need to spray it until all the oil is flushed out, and then I can do the same thing with clean water to flush out all the soap.
I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind. I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know.
And anytime I have a soapy sponge, I like to give the sink a quick scrub to help keep it nice and shiny. I only use the same microfiber in the kitchen for a day or two before I wash it, and I hang it up to dry after each use, and if they stay wet for too long, they start to smell. And I also keep a bucket hanging in the laundry room to hold all the dirty cleaning cloths, and I hang them up to dry before I put them in the bucket so they don't have a chance to mildew. I'm always surprised how many people still don't recycle, and I remember as a kid, I would hunt for bottles and cans that were tossed in the trash or littering the ground so that I could cash them in for 5 or 10 cents a piece. And we still always try to recycle and reuse as much as we can, and we've been saving grocery bags to line the trash can in the kitchen forever because it just didn't make sense to buy trash bags when we could use grocery bags for free. But when they started charging for bags at the stores, we stopped using them, but we still need bags. So now we rescue the discarded shopping bags from the landfill when we find them laying around, and I just fold them up to save space. And of course, they still end up in the landfill, but at least they get more than one use.
Strength and show me your weakness. We're in this together now. We're in this together now. Give me your love and tell me your secrets. 'Cause we're in this together now. Yeah, we're in this together now.
I need to clean the laundry room every week, and our laundry is outside in the garage, so it doesn't take long for dirt to pile up. So I use a damp microfiber cloth to wipe down the countertops and the washer and dryer, and it only takes a few minutes to wipe down all the surfaces.
All of me is yours, every part of me. 'Cause we're in this together now. You and me together now. What's the point of living in this game?
I try to clean out the lint trap between every load of laundry, and keeping the lint trap cleaned out saves time and money. Lint buildup prevents airflow so that the dryer has to work harder for longer and uses more energy, but lint buildup in the dryer is also a fire hazard, so I try to clean out the inside of the vent about every other month or so, and I use a brush to loosen up the lint, and then I vacuum up anything that falls inside.
Close your eyes, get some rest. I'm by your side, lay your head on my chest. I know you've had a really bad day, but I'm right here, it's gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay. Calm your soul, hold my hand, don't let go. I understand. I know it hurts, it wasn't fair. It's over now, so don't despair. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay.
Keeping the dogs clean is always the best way to keep the house clean, and we try to give the dogs a bath about every 2 months, but I always know when it's time when I have to start vacuuming more than twice a week, and anytime we give the dogs a bath, they start to shed, and it always looks like a dog exploded for the next day or two, so I end up brushing them out and vacuuming every day until the shedding stops.
It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones and be a man. I gotta tear this wall apart to let you in.
There was a time when the dogs followed me all around the house every time I vacuumed, and now they can't be bothered to move out of the way, and I just work around them. And I keep the sofa covered with a blanket to keep off the dog hair, but the front part of the sofa collects dog hair every time they walk by or lean up against it. And while I was vacuuming the sofa, Miss Callie was looking for a place to take a nap, and she finally gave up to find somewhere more quiet.
'Cause I know I need a start to let you in. When it's over, I will see what I've done. Let it go too soon. Oh, I'll be stronger.
The dog hair drifts along the floor until it bumps into something it can stick to, which is usually the bottom of the stairs, and I try to vacuum the risers every week or two, and I usually like to use the small rotary attachment, but I was feeling lazy today, so I just used the standard rotary attachment instead, and it covers more ground, but it's a little bit harder to work with.
Hey, darling, can I tell what's been on my mind. Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey, darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Hey, darling, I love it when it's me and you on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for two. Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time, driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city, let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take
My little buddy got up to go outside so I could finish up in the living room, and Callie finally got to take her nap. And Ace usually likes to just sit outside, but it's so hot he refuses to go out even when I open the door, and if he does go out, he wants back in almost as soon as I let him out.
Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Yeah, we only get one life. I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand.
We have travertine floor tiles downstairs, so I need to use a cleaner that's safe to use on natural stone, and the cleaner that I use is a concentrate, so I mix about 2 cups of water with about a tablespoon of cleaner, and I keep it in a spray bottle so that it's ready to use in case we have a spill that needs to be cleaned up. And I could add the cleaner directly to the clean water tank on the machine, but I prefer to spray the cleaner directly onto the floor so that I can use the machine to rinse away the soap.
Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming down, collapse into water when they hit the ground. I hear the sound of empty streets, and yesterday has gone to sleep. All that's left is you and me. I can promise you're the only thing I see. Hold my hand and hear the words I say. Close your eyes and let us fade away. Build a secret place for you and me. Let our minds be caught up in a dream. Quiet voices in the night.
This machine is so easy to use that I actually started cleaning the floor more often, and it's important to clean the machine before I put it away. So when I'm finished cleaning the floors, I empty out the dirty water tank before I put it back on the charger and run the self-clean, and it takes a few minutes for the machine to run through its cleaning cycle. And I just have to remember to empty the tank and put away the wet roller when it's done. I think most of the time I like to start out with tasks that take the longest so that I can get them out of the way, and I save things that only take a minute or two for last, so that when I'm running out of time and energy, it's much easier to finish up with a few 1-minute tasks, and it's much easier to squeeze them in later if I don't get them done. But there are times when it's better to get something done, even if it's not perfect. So I clean around the table runner after we eat, and then once a week I clear off the entire table so that I can wipe it down. And keeping this back door clean is impossible, so there are times when I just clean the bottom half of the door, and it may not be perfect, but at least it's clean. I usually look for excuses to get outside, but it's been unbearably hot lately, and the temperatures don't even cool down at night, so it's already hot when the sun comes up, and the summer heat makes it hard to keep up with the watering schedule, and most of the larger pots are attached to the drip system, but we have a few pots that need to be watered by hand, and most of the time we only need to water the plants every few days, but when the temperatures climb, we may need to water some of the smaller pots twice a day. And that's all for today. If you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications before you go. And thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I hope to see you next time.